What is up? Good morning. All right, sorry about that. We're having family stuff this morning, so we had to make sure we take care of that. A little bit of a late stream, but I was still keeping an eye on the markets. That's what's important. So we took this short maybe 30 minutes ago. Now I wasn't comfortable taking the short. This green zone I had marked days ago, so I was expecting a really strong bounce from this green box here, and it's pretty much what happened, right? We got a bounce, got the bounce. We got that reaction off the bottom, and this I say it was a daily area. Yeah, this is a daily area, right? So this is where buyers on a macro scale. Um, Now we bounced off, and this was real buying. This was a real buyer stepping in. I'm actually gonna get rid of the zone. I just marked it for later. Let's just mark some players here for the morning. So this is basically about where our next bounce is gonna be, or I should say should be, but with the fail of, I, again, I'm going to go into some theory here, but so you had real buying this morning, kind of suppressed fake selling, a lot of like overlap, a lot of funky, like buyers are still trying to take it, but it seemed like an algo's really trying to take this down. And then we had this break, which to be honest with you, I thought I was getting stopped out this morning. I took my entry right here, by the way. Right here? No, right here in this candle. So, um, again, looking for that rotation, playing the top of this bounce. I should just do it like one tick above, but it's all good. It is all good. So that's where we're at this morning, and I might have to take another short right now. So that is it. Let me mark out some levels here. We got our pre-market lows, which I think were right here. So let's just hotkey Alt H. I do it enough. All right. Oh, it just does it. Okay. All right. So that one, and then our market highs are somewhere. I like doing it at roughly the markers so right here. So we see that we're really still in the bottom of this range from the morning sell-off. Very interesting price action from September. I was seeing the currencies were going. We just added to our short here at the time. Yeah, that was a weird lag on that time. Yeah, so added to our short, and now we're looking for that 101.25. Five. This is insinuating this is going to go much lower. Actually, this is going to go up here. 5. This is going to go here. Put a nice little. Their stop sell is 60. See. Okay. So, I mean, this is uncomfortable for this account. I'm not going to lie to you. Very uncomfortable. This does look like a true double top, broke through the neck solidly with volume. So, I do have a decent amount of confidence in this trade. And if volume picks up, we might even add more for a bigger rotation. So, very, very, how do you say, big opportunity. Very good opportunity for the morning. So, I haven't been able to actually take a trade live, and I can't even tell you how long. Mostly because these trades have been happening a little later on. Volume's been very slow in the mornings. August was just I did the what do you say? I did the levels for I did my monthly recap on Twitter. That's what I meant meaning to say. I did my monthly recap on Twitter, and I just counted up all the points and so let's see your profile. Yeah, so we hit 1313 points. 1,313 points for the month last month, which isn't bad. 3 micros, that's roughly $7,600. Um, Interestingly enough, this is probably one of the lowest win percentages I had, which was 60.8% win percentage. Typically, our average is up in the 75 to even 85%, especially with winning days. So this was very interesting. Very interesting to see. So yeah, don't really know to say. We took multiple trades, and yeah, but yeah, here we are. Coming a little bit lower. I'm expecting a little bit of a reaction here, but if we blow through this, it could get crazy too. So I am surprised there was a lot of bulls trapped up there, and the volume on this is kind of slow. We'll see. We've got about another minute and a half. Actually, it's picking up pretty good. This is looking pretty good. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. I would like to make a little bit of money this week. That would be nice. Trying to trade appropriately and make sure I'm not missing anything. That's been a big issue with me last month, is that after going back testing and see that, oh, you were supposed to enter here and you didn't, or you were out of context here, and that could be really frustrating because it's like, oh, the money was on the table, you just didn't grab it. So that was last month. So not only a slow month, but it was kind of frustrating altogether. So yeah, that's that. I'm trying to make another maybe $4,000 or $5,000 before I take a payout on this Top Step account, and then I'm gonna fund 2 more XFAs and just get it rolling. So hopefully that can happen this week. Maybe if we get a big quarterly push this week, we'll have something kind of crazy happen. So very interesting. You had real buyers take it up, suppressed. This looks like algorithmic suppression. They're catching some crosswinds. And then you had this big buyer try to take it, and they just got scooped and dumped on. I'm like, wow, that's very. And this is all real buying. Remember that zone I drew out? That's a real daily zone. So if we crack this daily zone, we could have a really big red day. So yeah, it's always nice to be in a trade and watch it flicker around your take profit. Very comfortable. Feel like I need tea. So volume's looking pretty dang good here. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually the biggest volume we've had since this 7 o'clock up here. So in this range, we did have a couple pieces of data, PMI, manufacturing PMI. So I don't know if that necessarily. I'm sure that did something. It did do something, but I don't know. If you're gonna get a reaction like that and then it just kind of gets sold off into, who knows? I didn't even check the data though. So all right, let's see if we get a little tap out here. Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to be looking here for another take. So, yeah, so if this, I'm kind of hoping that we actually get a quick tap out and run back up, because I really don't want to hold 140 points of position size. I just don't want to do it. I'd prefer to be. It is what it is, but yeah, look at that. Nvidia's dropped up too. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got one. 422. So maybe we'll get this next one, which would be nice. This is where the buyers should be stepping in a little bit if they are going to step in. Now we do have sellers pretty much this whole span so far is sellers here. So we could just mark these. Now you have this buyer that's here active. You're going to see where our actual. This is kind of like a big smoky ground, right? Imagine that most of our concentrated sellers should be somewhere in this range and somewhere in this range here, right? I know it might be interesting because there's what ICT would see is a fair value gap right here, right? Big fair value gap. And then they might be looking at fair value gap down here. for some reason. I know they need multiple assurances, but just know that this is not where the liquidity is. This this is where the liquidity is down here, more than likely. But when you have this selling here, this is unlikely that you're going to find it. If we do come up, and let's just say we tap into this range and then sell off all the way down here, this wasn't the key factor. The algorithm was selling here the whole time. It just didn't, it was just trying to catch up with it. So that's something to keep in mind. Typically, if you're going to close here, we're going to run all the way back up top of here to test these sellers somewhere in this range. So keys to keep in mind. As you can see, that seller's kind of pushing up on him still. And really, we're going to find out where he is based off this candle. So, yeah, let's just chill. Wait it out here. Big rotation. A lot of volume. Might need to even take this shorter. See here. I have multiple charts going on just for sake of cleanliness. So yeah, it's about a 130 point bar. Really not looking forward to that. So I'm kind of hoping we do come up in the next few minutes and then sell off. We get these next like 5 minutes down here, I'm gonna have to take a really big trade. Oh, that just does not sound fun. Does not sound fun. So yeah, overnight, look at that. That's pretty wild. Just really something, man. Scooped off all the way lower. Should have cleared these. I like clearing my trading zones. Oh, whoops. So I didn't need to clear one of those, did I? Yeah, because that one's the real one here. Yeah. Yep, that's crazy. So back into this hot zone here, touched it. Buyers are still active. Market's trying to test the C to go lower. Let's kind of go to a little bit bigger of a time frame. I need to go bigger than this. This is not even big enough. Let's go 4 hours. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, look at this. Let's kick on some volume here. Interesting. So yeah, really strong selling overnight. I mean, this is pretty much the bottom of your buyer. Right? This is it right here. From a 4 hour standpoint, we marked it differently on the daily. Let me see. Boom. Nope. So if we catch a bounce point anywhere, it's probably going to be one of these two areas, which makes me feel a little bit more confident about my short. But these are key areas down here. And now you can see with the nodes, if we're looking at volume, the volume profile of the day, or I shouldn't say the day, basically the last couple months. See if it'll refresh for me. If it will. By the way, 4 minutes left, and might have to take another short. Is it not going to load? Whatever. Long story short, you have a little node here, and should see. Okay, let me take off the volume profile. I'll just hand draw it, so I don't really need a visual. So this is a decent amount of time spent here. Decent volume, higher volume up here. So your nodes should roughly be tool. Your nodes should roughly be like this. Maybe a little higher, a little lower, much higher, and then kind of stays a little higher, and boom, like this. Then it drops off dramatically. That's kind of what we're looking at here. So this is probably what the actual volume profile looks like from a standpoint. Maybe a touch higher right here, maybe like a little higher. Let's see. Yeah, just like a little higher, and then a big. Yeah, it basically is the same thing, right? Fall off. Yeah, so this is it. Okay, so now I know how to just refresh it. So yeah, so this is basically exactly what I was talking about. It looks pretty good. Fell off a little deeper than I thought it would, but yeah, this is about it. Boom, boom. That's it. If we were to like go like this, basically it, but it fell off really sharply. Same idea though. All right, let me get rid of that. All right, let's get back to the micro here. So again, we have the seller, we have this buyer. Like I said, this is the likely bounce point, which I was happy I got the tap out. I almost considered moving up that stop a little bit, but I refrained. Um, the market's kind of battling it out right now. They're just duking it out. Buyers fighting these sellers, and these sellers look really determined. So you would assume that you have a decent amount of bulls trapped, right? Um, this is yellow. This is where you could find a lot of bulls trapped. You could find them here, and then you'd find them here. And I think if we looked at the volume, yeah, if we look at the volume, decent volume up in these ranges. I mean, you have to think that these bulls, there was a lot of volume up in these candles up here, right? So selling came in pretty strong. This was probably a lot of absorption. If we were to look at delta, let me see, do we have a delta? Should have a delta. If we don't have a delta here, I'm gonna go get it on the other chart then. Hold on a second. This is gonna give us a better idea of who's stuck where. All right, oh, that's not what I want. Sorry, let's see. NQ. All right, let's go. Let's go to named Q. Okay. So now let me get the delta up here. By the way, that little bounce point's working. So, um, a little less. I need to move this down. What is this? 6,450. It would suck to lose all the profits, but it's whatever. It is what it is. Let me see here. We gotta double check. Go, and we have a little bit of a steep here. We do there. So this is, yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't check that 15. Let me see here. Okay, is that? Oh no. Oh no. It's literally right on the line. Is it? It's basically right on the line. I don't think I need to take this, to be honest. All right. Oh, sorry. You guys didn't see any of that. So yeah, let me get this delta working real quick. So this is from a trading view. And let me just see here. Drawings here. All right. Let's get this delta. Volume delta, cumulative delta. There we go. Cumulative volume delta. Perfect. So get rid of this volume a little bit. We can bring it up. Why not bring it up? Okay, so I just want these candles up a little bit bigger. Okay, match it. So looking at the morning, and I think we start the morning off. We start pre-market at 0, I think. That's how it works. So we dumped in the mornings, dumped again. So open was here, but notice how the candles look different. Notice how this one is a lot more up this volume is, or this delta is down. What that's saying is that there's shorts trapped here. If this volume's here and this candle's up, a lot of sellers got trapped in this candle. And then what happened? We had a big push. Now look at this. Notice the delta here. Yeah, it's almost got eaten up pretty flat, but the candle's up. So this is saying shorts are getting trapped. Why would it be shorts getting trapped? Because the shorts sold this off. Delta brought it back down to zero. This is almost balanced buyers and sellers in this candle. But the candle's a lot more, not a lot more up, but a decent amount more up. So that's sellers getting trapped. So they got squeezed and then up. Now notice we have the buyers come in and then some sellers came off. There's more buyers than sellers on this bar. It closes green. This would be just a couple clean imbalances in the market. So how do we know that they got trapped? Well, if we were looking at the delta cumulatively, boom. So let's just look candle for candle. Almost pure negative delta. It closed negative. It closed with the most selling on that candle. Unlike this is just following price. Then this next one we had, even though there was buyers that did brought it up, it closed with maximum delta. This is both saying that there's bulls trapped in this area here, right? But it's still pretty up. It's still up comparatively. If we were to look at this is kind of what we need to pay attention to is the levels. So right here, look at this level right here. It's right down the bottom of this candle. If we look 2 candles over, notice how the delta is starting to shift. There's more aggressive sellers than buyers, but the price is still up, right? This is still saying that bulls have control. If the delta came lower than this and the price was still up here, this would still say that this buyer is absorbing the crap out of these sellers and it's still coming up. So let's just continue to move on a little bit though. By the way, let me just check our position here. Make sure we're all on point here. Okay. Yep. Decent, looking decent. Right, looking fine. Okay, so continuing on, we have red candle, red candle, red candle, red delta, red delta, red delta. Now these candles aren't as steep to the downside as this candle, but notice this candle's green, this candle's red. So now you're starting to flip the script a little bit. Sellers were aggressively taking down. There was more sellers than buyers. Remember, this tool is just a measurement of aggressive sellers, people who hit the ask and people who hit the bid. So people who hit the ask and bid, it's just showing the counterbalance between those two. And we're saying, are we above zero? Above zero means there's more buyers than sellers on the market, or below zero means there are more sellers, aggressive sellers than buyers. So being below this is bearish no matter what in the meantime. So we have a little bit of a divergence here as well. Notice that the top up here hits its highs, but the delta didn't quite get up to the highs. Very important. So this is saying that buyers, aggressive buyers, are not taking this up as high as before. This is a delta divergence, and usually, if we can't get above that, this is saying we have a lot more downside. Also important to note that we have delta as low as it was here in the morning, but we're still above the market. So even though there's super aggressive sellers stepping in, we're still above where we were below in this market. So if aggressive sellers keep coming in and we stay above this level, this is saying that sellers are getting absorbed. Anyways, that's just a little bit. I know that's a lot to say. It's a lot in terms of theory, but and really delta can be perceived in a couple different ways. This is how I perceive it. So I'll just leave that up there though. I'll have that in view. All right, so your buyer is still pretty active. Seller's still super active. We didn't even really need to move that at all. Yeah, let's continue on. See where we're at. We have a for the ICT people. They're gonna see a fair value gap right here. Get rid of some of this to clean it up. But even though that's the where the ICT fair value gap is, right? So it did touch that fair value gap. Really, the liquidity was right here. This is where your algos sit. This is where everything sits. So even if it goes below this and it touches the fair value gap, this was not it. And plus they have, I think they call it order block or whatever, like right here. I think this is their order block. Nonetheless, this is where your actual buyer is. Right here. This morning. Alright. Enough explaining. Let's just trade. So that's pretty much it for the morning. I want to take a look at the size of this bar here. See, buyers are making a case. They're trying to take a stand here on the morning. Volume has slowed down dramatically. So the market's just trying to figure out what it wants to do. We're at the bottom of this range. Our buyer's going to be high here again, right? Or are we going to continue to find a lack of buying interest and have these sellers continue to sell heavy into it? So the market's just kind of figuring out what it wants to do right now. 30 seconds left in this candle. Close a little stronger. I'm going to take the short. Get a little bit stronger of a close. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah, this clock is like, I don't know. We need to refresh maybe. This clock correct? There we go. Better. Clock was lagging a little bit behind. All right, so our take profit is roughly not roughly, but 468. So that'd be nice if we get a nice little ping out here. All right, let me see. While we're waiting, by the way, if volume picks up on this next candle, then we are going to add to our short. While we are waiting, let's have a couple looks here. I wrote a couple articles over the weekend. Snow was a crazy one. I can't believe snow happened the way it happened. Bring this over here real quick. Snow was crazy. Snow, I was expecting, just with certain price actions, I was expecting it to continue up. And I just wasn't super paying. I didn't even think about earnings. Usually I'm just looking at price action. Earnings is important, but I didn't think about earnings. And it immediately, immediately 2 days later after I wrote it, just snagged that, blasted right through the strong supply. So I wanted to add snow to the long term, but I just missed that buying. So that was pretty bummer. Tesla's another good one, actually, because people are really expecting Tesla to shoot up, and I really think that Tesla still has to come down still think Tesla needs to come down to at least these big buyers, and this is the most a bullish case. I think if you're aggressive, yes. I mean, if we got across these sellers, yes, but they're still there. They're selling pretty aggressively. So your next big buyer is down here. So all of this is just buying, and in my opinion, it's like, I don't want to say retail, but I want to say that buyers are trying to aggressively take it up, but they're getting tired. They don't have enough strength to blast through the seller. So I think we're going to have to rotate maybe even to the 40s, bounce back up, 70s. But I think Tesla's going to go a lot higher, but in time. That's where we're at here. 2 minutes left on that candle. Keeping an eye on it. HIMS is another one. So HIMS I was expecting to get, well, I said best case scenario, tick up. So we're going to see buyers step in here. But yeah, the HIMS is kind of down. So I was going to get HIMS. I basically said if it goes below 40, you get out. Like, don't be a bag holder on that one. Palantir, let's see where Palantir's sitting at today. Oh, Palantir ripped up. That's really surprising. Very interesting case here. Shove down. Someone is eating this up, but they can only buy so much of it. Yeah, that'll be very interesting before they get to dump their position too. Yeah, and Ethereum. Let's have a look at Ethereum. By the way, we got 1 minute left in the candle. Yeah, so Ethereum. I need to write a new article for Ethereum. Didn't I? I thought I did actually. Yes. Okay. Here's our newest article. So it's looking pretty good. Right off the trend, we have the top of demand here, so we could really get another push, really strong push from Ethereum pretty soon. So something to look forward to. All right, that's that for that. Let's have a back look. Delta's kind of pushing down a little stronger, even though I don't need, that was more for teaching. I don't even use that, to be honest with you. All right, let's see if we get a crack below this seller. Or buyer, sorry, buyer. All right. So on the 15-minute, it didn't get there. On the 5-minute, it didn't. It's not looking like it's getting there. So we're not adding. We're gonna stay put. Sitting on our hands. The buyer's still trying, but looks like he might get ran through. Let's see. He'll be hanging on by a sliver. Hanging on by a sliver. Now would be a time where I'd get a coffee. Can't really do anything on these next couple of trades. So it is what it is. We just hang out. See if we can get a nice little push here. A little push down. All right. See if we get this final little push here. Maybe. Let's see a nice pop. Now, if we do break this line, we're going a lot lower. Even the 2300 level would probably bounce off this 20. This would probably be one of the biggest bounces. 23,000. It's a psych level. We have buyers there. But if we cut through that, it could straight up. We can just get like a into Oblivion Day. So that could get crazy. Here we go. Might get it right here.
Order filled.
There it is. All right. Very nice. Couple good trades. It's about 150 points that we took off the markets. Markets are really moving today, man. Really moving. Yeah. Well, that works. Pre-market lows down here. Might get a little reaction down there. We'll see what happens as well. And I took that short from right here. Not gonna lie to you guys, it did not feel good. It did not feel good to take that short. My first one right here, roughly. Right here. There. It's just early. With the stronger buying coming in, it started to kind of fake suppress down. It didn't feel like real selling, but that's why I trust the system, man. I trust the system because my mind is like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to short this buyer in this market. And you know, when I'm down 75% of my position, or I'm sorry, when I'm down close to get stopped out, like over halfway, right, about 75% of the way from getting stopped out, I'm like, yeah, well, this is to be expected. But then we just bludgeon through these people, blast through this next level. I'm like, well, uh, I've learned with myself. I'm just very amped. Very I'm high strung. It's hard for me to relax, and because of that, I have to trade a system that follows rules. I have to do it. I have to have a system that's basically I don't make any decisions. I don't get to make any decisions. I don't get to override. I don't get to do any of that. I have to trade the strategy. So that is how it is. Have a little peek here. Peek at some other things here. So let's see. All right. All right. Seller here. Um, seller here. The new aggressor on the market. They're shoving this down a little bit. So seller. Buyer from months ago. we don't have any other buyers currently on the day. Bears are fully in control. We have that daily buyer, which we're at the very bottom of. I think they're pretty. Let's double check. That daily buyer is just right below pre-market, 45.75. 45.75 to now. But they're getting chewed up. So 45.75. So right here is the bottom of your, I'm just going to do a little marker here. So when you're dealing with the daily level, we can go a lot lower. Kind of like how we went lower here on this one and then ripped back up, right? Or went higher and came back down. On the daily, that swing could be a lot bigger. It could be 200 points, and then if it gets back above this area, then you know that the buyer still accumulated on a macro. So that's important too. It's important to note, but since I'm not trading dailies, it doesn't really matter. I'm not swinging for multiple days, right? We're trading the 5-minute. It's not as important. What time is it? What we got here? 8:23. Yeah. Well, we got a couple hits on the stream. That's nice. 2 trades for the morning. Thursday, Friday last week were just painful days, man. We're just holding for what felt like eternities. It was like 4-hour holds. Just the market's not giving it up. So I'm glad the market's giving it up now. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's basically it for the morning. I'm still going to be trading, but we got most of that action there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I shouldn't say it's it. You'll follow me on X. You'll see the full patterns on X. It's underscore the cafe trader. And then my trading view, if you guys are at all long-term investors at all, like you just want to swing, you just want to play the market a little bit, these articles can be very good guides. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but they can give you some direction to help you find out where people are on the market. So very, very important to have at least something to know where players are. It's really important. Everything's kind of turning around right now. We might actually come into an extremely bearish quarter. This could be like a 15-20% drop quarter. Just how everything's lining up, how the market's kind of waning. We've been overbought for a long time. We could actually start to catch up. Fed's getting ready to cut rates, right? And I don't know if that's going to be bullish. I'm going to be honest with you. So we will see. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to hang up.